the Lord. Teacher Patrick here from Child Cafe. Welcome to Value Bits. Today we are looking at what the Bible tells us about thinking about the future of these wonderful boys and girls, and you are welcome. I am born again and I love Jesus Christ for saving me. Now I want to bring to your attention what the Bible in the book of Psalm 78 says about being mindful of the future of these wonderful boys and girls that God has given us. You see, the psalmist in the book of Psalm 78 shows concern about the future of children when he writes this particular psalm, Psalm 78. In verse 4, he makes a promise, he makes a commitment of what? He says in verse 4, we will not hide them from their descendants. We will tell the next generation the praiseworthy deeds of the Lord, his power and the wonders he has done. So he makes a commitment in his heart that he is not going to hide any truth about God to this generation. Do you know why he is doing that? In verse 6, this is the purpose for you and me and for any other person to keep thinking about the future of children and do what? Teach them the word of God. In verse 6 he says, so that the next generation would know them. What? The praiseworthy deeds of the Lord, the wonders of God, the truth about God that is in his word. He says, so that the next generation would know them, even the children yet to be born, and they in turn would tell their children. So this is the ripple effect when you and me teach our children the word of God. We are being concerned about their future, and so we invest the word of God in them. Then in verse 8 he says, this is what will happen when we teach our children the word of God. In verse 8 he says, they would not be like their ancestors, a stubborn and rebellious generation whose hearts were not loyal to God, whose spirits were not faithful to him. This is what he's saying, that when we are concerned about the future of children, then we are doing something. We are being concerned about their future, and we are sure that they are not going to be a wayward generation. They are not going to be like the present generation or their ancestors. You see, if we would like as parents and Sunday school teachers and children workers to see corruption and every other evil in our society long forgotten, then we need to commit ourselves like this psalmist to teach our children the word of God, so that they will not be like their ancestors. They will not like be this present generation which is running away from God and getting into sin and doing things that are not pleasing to the Lord. So when we teach, when we show concern to our children by teaching them the word of God, we are doing what the word of God commands us, being concerned about their future, and so we invest the word of God. Verse 8 says they would not be like their ancestors, a stubborn and rebellious generation. So if you want to see obedience, if you want to see morality, if you want to see good manners in our children, then we need to do something about the future. Showing concern for the future generation is by investing in this present generation. Let me ask you this question. Are you investing in this present generation to serve the future generation? The Lord bless you and do you good. See you tomorrow as we look at another example in the Bible from the book of Deuteronomy, from chapter 4 all the way to 31. And remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel and like our Facebook page at Child Cafe. Bye bye and God bless you.